us this evening. First and foremost, I'd like to give thanks to Art on the Ave NYC because this is one of many of their creative spaces, and with the creative spaces, we're able to do things like this. Artists are able to have spaces to create, and I've been able to explore my curiosity with artist talks and meeting artists and interviewing. So thank you, Barbara, who's over there. I also wanted to just give a little back history about East Village in itself, with it being Black History Month right now. So we're gathered here in East Village, a neighborhood known for its experimentational and cultural rebellion. It's also known for Black creativity, particularly in the 1960s and 70s. A movement that was imagining new possibilities, art, identity, and liberation. Our East Village carries the legacy, obviously, of Jean-Michel Basquiat, which we all know. And I just feel really honored to be doing my first artist talk in East Village as well, where so much Black excellence has already happened. And now I get to just carry it on further. So yeah, please join me in introducing our artist. We have Sage, who's right beside me. He's been with Art on the Ave since the beginning, right? So we have an OG Art on the Ave artist with us, which is very special. His work is between abstract and figurative abstraction.
Figurative abstract.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't stop there. He does documentary photography, spoken word, and he also makes the best lobster mac and cheese. We have Barrington, who is next to Sage, and Barrington's been with Art on the Ave for 2.5 years and has a background in design, but paints striking portraits and brings cinematic eye to everything he does. And then on the end, we have Naderson Pierre, who has been with Art on the Ave for 3 years, known for his bright abstract and cubist figurative portraits. And yeah, so first thing I want to dive into is what felt, okay, thank you. I'd love to start with how your creative journey has grown since being a part of Art on the Ave. And Sage has been with Art on the Ave since the beginning, and we came in a little bit later. So even just to see how it started and how it's going.
You come out hitting hard, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
It's a great question.
We don't have time to waste.
How has my creative journey been affected by Art on the Ave? First, thank you for having me. And I get to sit alongside 2 extraordinary men that I absolutely adore as human beings, but I'm in awe of creatively and artistically. So I'm honored to be a part of this night. And guys, welcome everybody. I think in part that this right here is one of the answers or components to the answer of how Art on the Ave NYC has affected my creative journey. I have become a part of this amazing family because of Art on the Ave NYC, people whom I adore personally and am in awe of creatively. So I get to learn and experience seeing Naderson or Kate or Katie or Barrington or Gustavo create their work. And as an artist, I think everything that we experience, everything we touch, see, smell, taste, feel becomes filtered through our creative process. So in part, being a part of this collective, to be able to show my work, sell my work, being exposed to different communities that I might not have been exposed to, and how that impacts and influences my work. And being in different locations, because you know, if this space gets rented, we're moved to someplace else. And the energy on the Upper East Side is completely different from the energy on Park Avenue, which is completely different from the Lower East Side. You know, so all of that filters into the creative process. But I think the principle, for me personally, is really being a part of a family of extraordinary human beings who also happen to be incredibly talented.
I agree. How do you follow up with that?
I can't. You want to change seats? The same good answer now. Well, for me, I guess my journey with Art on the Ave is like, before I joined Art on the Ave, I thought I hit the ceiling of my artistic ability. Like, I was kind of not satisfied, but I thought that's all I could do. Because I was working out of my room and, like, you have limited space, limited supplies. So, like, I thought that was only I could do. So, since joining Art on the Ave, not only was I able to, like, create bigger works, but also, like, develop my subject matter, because I didn't realize that I'd be suffocated in, like, creating my room, that little tight space. I didn't realize that affects your creativity. So having actual space where you can separate from your living situation, but also space you're comfortable in, where you feel like you're in control, that does enhance your work. So I didn't realize that difference until, like, I had the space now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't hit a ceiling. I just had an obstacle that Art on the Ave was able to help me jump over. And I really do appreciate that, because honestly, just not only just having a space, also having a space of other artists you admire, as Sage said, also does enhance your work. I've become such a better artist since meeting both of these people, honestly.
Your art has been like
Crazy.
wow. It's growing. I'm happy to be alongside growing with you guys, because it's just so amazing to see.
I'll say the same thing. My journey didn't start in a room. It started in the streets. So I was homeless and painting in the streets, on the floor, subway doing live painting. And then I didn't create large pieces because I didn't have the space for those things. Smaller work is like, could get it done. It's easier to sell. And then with Art on the Ave, I applied for, it was around this time for Black History Month. I did the application for an exhibition at Fulton, and then got in. And then again, Barbara gave me that space, Fulton Center, for the moment. I'm like, okay, great, awesome. I was just grateful just to have it. And from there, it's like it becomes something bigger than I thought it would be. I thought it was just a space and then that's it. We're like, no, it's a space. And then after that, if the space is, we move it to the Oculus. I'm like, the Oculus is like, you know what I mean? I pass there all the times with my paintings, trying to do live paintings. And then from there, go to 28 Liberty and meet other people, like Sage mentioned, having studio mates, Kate. Like the way we challenge each other in the studio, it's something that's how it's supposed to be. It's more than just art. It's community. It's support. You have a person that can judge your work freely because it's not something that's like she's trying to buy or anything. It's just pure art, judging art. And then so for that, it was like, okay, cool. There's this person that see my work and want me to be better, and then just criticizing each other's work, and I feel like that's what it's all about. And like the work I was creating before versus the work I'm creating now, it's not the same person. And then for that, that's so cool.
Shout out to Art on the Ave.
Could I add a real quick point to what Naderson just said? Because one of the things I love about the community in the family, I call it as Art on the Ave, is that there is criticism.
Right.
And there is challenge, but there's no competition.
Right.
And that's something in an artist collective that you seldom get to see. We do go out to support each other's openings or shows, and we do inform each other of, hey, you should apply for this or that, So it's such a beautiful and refreshing experience to be in a collective where there's not a competitive thing, where it's not, oh, fuck. like,
We use that word
Naderson,
before.
F. Naderson, he sold the painting. Or forget Barrington, he sold it. We're like, congratulations, and really supportive of one another. And, that's something beautiful, I find.
I want to follow up with speaking on what felt necessary for your work to exist, especially for you who works.
Jesus Christ.
You work and create.
Yeah.
Sage, you're working and creating. I feel like there has to be some crazy drive to still make time for something that might not like. You might not sell a painting, or you might not do this thing. There's a reason why you keep doing it, even though you might not know the outcome.
I think it depends on the artist's intention. Mine, when I have an idea, it's not about how much can I sell it. That doesn't come to mind when I'm creating the paintings. There are times I have painting in the studio, people come by trying to buy work. It was like, how much is this piece? I don't know yet. I don't know how much it is because it's not done yet. I don't want to think about the financial part of it in the process of creating something, because I don't want it to be rushed. I don't want it to be just for money. I want to create my best work, and I have to be challenged by the work that I'm creating. Otherwise, I'm just going to stuck in the same cycle doing the same body of work, which is not something that I'm looking forward to do. And I also enjoy how people, I don't know, I'm going to say something wild. So, in terms of creative blocks, it play roles to it, because if I make portraits, if I'm a photographer, I can't have creative blocks if I'm a photographer. All I have is a camera. I could go outside and shoot something. It's just the motive. What motivate me to create? It's people. We live in a world. I'm not by myself in this world. So therefore, me having creative block is me putting my own limitations against me. I can go outside, see a person sitting, and I'm like, oh, great. I can just do that. I can look at myself and then paint that instead of waiting for ideas to come. And I think like your intention has to mean something more than just money. And if it's for money, then it's dead. And you have to create something that can be left behind for generation to generations, where they can study your work and be inspired by it. That's why.
I gotta go this way. Okay.
Anyone.
I guess for me, why do I create? Which is, I ask that all the time. He said, I work full time, teach, and I'm like, why do I still do this?
Yeah.
But no, honestly, it's because I always say that I want to contribute to the world in a positive way somehow. I'm not as much as my parents wanted. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an engineer. So art is the way I can affect change through my abilities. So I create an email style piece because I want my painting to exist in the world and also have some type of influence on it. So every time I make work, I don't just make it. I want to sell, but I don't make it just to sell. I make it what's the influence that I want to impart. The people who see this, what do I want them to feel? What do I want them to think about? And that's how I get to influence the world. Because we don't all get that opportunity to influence the world. So I choose to do it through art.
Is a calling I wouldn't wish upon anybody. It really is a calling. I would not wish this, honestly, upon anyone. I wouldn't look at a little 5-year-old and say, when you grow up, you should be a crackhead. When you grow up, you should be an artist. Same thing. But I could not imagine my life without art. Literally, this is what saved my life time and time again. This isn't frivolous art. This isn't, how many likes can I get on Instagram? can I sell this? And if so, for how much? This isn't taping a banana to a wall and calling it art. This is something that will wake you up at 2:24 a.m. in the morning after you've had the longest day and you just got into your bed and you just hit that spot. And it says, wake up, I got something to say. This is a spiritual conversation. This is prayer. This is meditation. This is influence and impacting. This is something that I can't keep this shit inside of me. I'm the one who's cussing today. I can't keep this inside of me. I have to get this out. I don't know what it will look like. I don't care. But I have to get this out. And if it's from a photograph or a painting or a poem or, a two-step dance, this can't stay just right here anymore. It has to come out. It's prayer and meditation, and it's compelling and it's demanding. Because I didn't want to wake up at 2:24 a.m. this morning. I really had a lot to do. But there you are. And there is a humility to this. There is an obedience to this. That there is a frequency to this that I think make artists, and I mean this in a beautiful way, not better or worse than, but different than. We vibrate at a different frequency. That you have to speak is that God voice that filters through you, that gets this out. And then, you're impacted by the work of others. You're touched by something. And we could all reflect on our lives, that painting, that photograph, that song, that thing that affected us and moved us and touched us. And that's the importance of what we do, whether it sells or not, is incidental. Mm-hmm. But were we honest in the process of creation? Was I truthful here? Was I vulnerable here? Was I honest? And that's what makes it good, whether it's aesthetically pleasing or not. Mm-hmm. It's honest. Mm-hmm.
So much of the artistry world is isolated. When you're creating, when you're at home in your heads, even finding inspiration, most of the time you're by yourself. And I want to know, how do you define excellence when you have to validate yourself to keep it moving?
Dear God, woman, where are you?
I was thinking hard about it yesterday.
Dear God, lady.
What did you think? What's your favorite color?
Forest green. Here we go now.
I like forest green as well.
You go. Your turn.
Okay. I would say that, to be honest, I do create alone, but I'm never technically alone, because even when I'm creating, I'm thinking of that last piece that Naderson did, that Sage said. It's even though I'm alone, I do prefer painting alone most times. In my head, I'm not alone, because I'm thinking about all the people I've met and how they've influenced me. Mm-hmm. So it's if last week Naderson did this amazing portraiture, I'm thinking about, oh my God, how do you get that? How do you do that stroke? Nah, that ain't right. Right? I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, nah, because it's so good, right? So good. All right. But that's how I do it. I love meeting new artists because they then enhance how I do my work. Because the way I learn is I learn mostly through trial and error. So when I see them, I'm thinking about, okay, I got it wrong last time. Let me think about how he did it, or how he did it, or how they did it. And then it's just also it's just nice. When I'm painting my work and certain works remind me people after I painted, I'm like, oh, I wasn't trying it, but this reminds me of Sage. This reminds me of Naderson. So I'd say that, just never really alone up here.
I'm always alone. up here. It's
That's
kind of like
nice.
something I say all the times. It's like die empty. It's I think like the only part where I feel connected to something. It's like whenever I'm painting, the only thing that matters is just the idea at the moment. Like everything else, all the problems erase, and all I can think of is the idea and how I can perfect this idea. And it doesn't always come out as perfect. And then that's one of the reasons why I always have a hard time to at least appreciate what I've created, because in my head I'm like, oh man, I want it to be straight line. I need it to be a certain way. I need it to be that. So it's just me and me and me and me and me in my head fighting. It's like different multiple personalities of the good one and the bad one, judging this. No, I like this. I don't like that. Take this out. Put this in. Put this out. It kind of like all the problem in the world seems to fade, and I'm stuck with this idea. And times I want to take away from it is to create another piece, because it's getting too heavy. I need another piece. I need a different, and then come back to it with a different set of eyes. But yeah, it's a lonely. It's a lonely thing. And I think me and Kate was talking about it the other day too. It's like, because I isolate myself in creating work all the times, there is a love or an appreciation that comes with isolation, where in order for me to get out of that space, you have to be someone special. Where I'm like, but we're going to parties. I'm going to like, how many people is going to be there? Who are these people? Because I enjoy my personal space that much. And I find peace in it. I find love. I find me in that space. So for me to sacrifice that space, it's not easy. Yeah.
Excellent.
I often say that my work is done through me, not by me, and oftentimes not for me. I have
Say that again.
my work is done through me, not by me, and oftentimes not for me. I have 4 siblings whom I absolutely adore. I think they're 4 of the most incredible human beings on the planet. I have 4 godchildren who are the light of my light. I have all my parents and grandparents are gone, but I grew up, even though I have my siblings, I grew up with just me and my mom. So I'm accustomed to being alone. And there's been a large part of my life that was not just aloneness, but loneliness. Working, whether it's painting or photography or poetry or filmmaking or any of the tentacles, there's a presence always there. Even if I am isolated in my studio or my apartment, even if it's just the physical of me, there's always a presence there. So I never feel, I don't know if I feel when I'm working. Like I said earlier, it's prayer and meditation. So there's a divorceness that happens between the physical and the process of creation for me. But I never feel alone. I always feel it is the ancestors or the spirit or the energy or the frequency that is always omnipotent, that's always omnipresent.
That's why I like asking these questions, because I always get a different answer. I feel like for some people it could be extremely lonely and they don't have the community or don't have like the support, which is really needed in this kind of industry. But then I have you guys and you have all of those things, and it's just such a different response compared to someone else who is lacking those things. So my next question, Sage, you ready?
Good Lord, lady. Yes.
Okay. What part of your practice only exists because of Black joy and not Black struggle? I see so much about struggling having to be a part of how you make it as an artist. Struggle has to be like the forefront of the story, but Black joy,
Okay.
it has to be in there somewhere,
I'll
right?
go. Personally, when I first started painting, I did not know anything about art. I did not know there's a business for it. I didn't know people can move the way I now know. I was simply creating to express, and this expression wasn't a joyful thing. It was very depressing, and there is a sense of knowing what's there and also knowing what's there and what could be. And then so for me, it's like a lot of painting I was creating when I first started was about Black trauma. And because of that, it stopped me. It stopped me from loving the work, because every time I'm in a state of mind, again, I'm thinking about the idea, and the idea is not joyful. So therefore, I'm not happy. It makes me more depressed. And whenever I'm thinking about painting, I'm I'm gonna be depressed, and it's not coming from, like, it doesn't make me happy to go to the studio and work, because I know what I'm creating is very depressing. And then so to a point where I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not creating anything related to Black trauma. How can I add more light, or how things could be from my perspective? And I started creating people around the community instead. My nephew, my uncle, my auntie, my sister, put those people in paintings. That way I could be excited to go to the studio and create. But that doesn't mean that those Black trauma it's not here or it doesn't exist.
Right.
It's just me focusing on different thing. But I can always go back and create anything. And then the world love it. For some reason, the world, they love Black trauma to a point where there are commissions that I have, and they are constantly asking me, can I paint about this? Can I paint about that? Which is, one, you make some money, good, but am I happy at the moment? Like, how much does my joy cost? You know what I mean? And then so I was like, well, I'm not creating anything related to Black trauma unless I really have a message to say. And then I focus on creating vibrant, colorful paintings. That way people can look at this painting and see themselves in those paintings. It's not like, and feel happy to see it. And again, when I moved to New York, there's this artist from Richard Beaver Gallery. It was the first time I saw a paintings that makes me feel happy. I was really happy just by being in this exhibition to see this body of work. It's like, that's what I want to do. If my goal is to make people happy, I can do that. If my goal is to make people look at reality as it is, I can also do that too. But if I'm only focusing on one thing, I feel like that's not what an artist should be. I should be able to tap into different types of emotions and create those ideas and bring them to life.
And that exists in our lives. Like,
Yeah.
It's not just struggle. We have
Right.
joy. We
Absolutely.
have, good times.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to see a variety versus just one consistent struggle.
Okay. For me, I made a vow really early in my artistic career, that I'd never paint my people in chains. I didn't care if it's no type of chains. For me, art is a nice contrast to my mind. Like, I've struggled with like mental health issues my entire life. So art was oftentimes to like prove to myself that my mind is also capable of like beautiful and joyful things too, even when like I don't feel it. So, even a lot of my pieces like very dope, like vibrant, beautiful. Like a lot of times I've had this, like my roughest weeks, but that's because I need that, you know? So, most of my art is like vibrant colors, or if it gets dark, not so much depressing, just because like, for me, my art is my sense of control. And like, I can't control a lot of things, but I can control how I feel through my, well, not how I feel through my art, but like how I want to feel through my art. Like what I want to see when I said, what I want to feel when I look at this piece. So it's like, life for me is hard already. So it's like, I'm not going to further like, create like these, harsh attributes through my art. So, I have done darker pieces, but like never too depressing, just because like I personally need that vibrancy in my life. So it's like, that's what my art most times is there for me. Like as that, like, you know, like, I don't know, like something that just like, I want to put a smile on my face when I see it, or like something that like evokes an emotion in me outside of like my depression, my mental health stuff and things like that.
When you're also having a bad day, do you dress 10 times better?
I dress comfortably. So even I'm really having a bad day. I mean, I always dress like nice.
I mean, when I'm having a bad day, I tend to dress really well.
Thank you. But no, when I'm having a bad day, my main thing is comfort. So it's like, if you do see me wearing the same hoodie 3 days in a row, let it slide. It's my comfort hoodie. It makes me feel nice and warm and like, just don't, you know, I know I'm wearing the same hoodie 3 days in a row. You don't,
right.
I'm aware of it. There's a reason.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum. Nina Simone once famously said that an artist's job is to talk about their times. I'm paraphrasing. And that's not to say I go out of my way to... What I find interesting about the Black trauma conversation is that one, for me, has to inject that Black joy is a part of that. Black survival is a part of that. Black resilience is a part of that. And from that, from the ugly, Black people created music, created art, created culture, dance. And from that, hip hop, jazz, soul, blues. Blues, the first note of blues came from the moan in the hull of a slave ship. For me, I think it's finding the beauty in the ugly and not just limiting it to just the trauma. What's the other side of that coin? What is the resolve? Where is the resilience? Where is the excuse me? Where is the beauty in this? You know, where is the beauty in this? Not just the chains and the shackles. Like you guys, when you walk into my home, you see this big mural. There's Africa, Timbuktu, the pyramids. There's also the slave ship. There's also the woman in the fields. There's also the lynching. But it comes back to something. Where's the resolution here? Because we're not defined by just the trauma or just the joy. There's nuance in every brush stroke of life that we have to be astute to. I can't just, for me, I can't, a lot of my work is based on the feminine, the Black or the woman, the female. A lot of my work is inspired by women. And that's because there's a resilience and a strength there. It's not just the trauma. There's so many different levels that we get to hear. There's so many different instruments in that orchestra that create the music of the work. You know, and it's not, you know, I can't paint just happy, smiley faces and rainbows and unicorns. I never know what I'm going to paint when I walk up in front of a blank canvas. I never know what's going to come as a result. The end result's going to look like. Never. I learned that lesson when I sold my first painting for $12,000. And I tried to paint a $12,000 painting and I produced nothing but garbage. So it could be traumatic or depressing. It could be happy or joyful. But I don't think anything is either or. I think there's texture in all of it.
So, do you believe that there were things you had to unlearn and relearn through your art practice?
I don't know so much about unlearning, but the things I get to learn are exciting and exhilarating. Unlearning, I guess, would be that moment where I had to unlearn trying to paint for money. And then the learning is getting to observe other people's work and being influenced and inspired by people and going to Whitney and MoMA and, you know, or Washington Square Park or seeing Katie's work at the picture or the water and the chat, you know, and Kate and Gustavo and just Ken and everyone else's work and learning from their experience. All I could offer is mine. All I could offer to my canvas is my truth or my camera or my script or whatever it is I'm working with. All I could offer is my truth, but my truth is informed by what I'm feeding myself spiritually. You know, and if I'm ingesting George Floyd or Bad Bunny's performance, is going to filter into that work, consciously or subconsciously. Yeah, it's just going to be there because that's what I ate today.
Unlearning through my art practice. I think one thing I really had to unlearn was that, like, not every piece has to be like really loud. Like a lot of my early pieces that I look at them, like I was basing them a lot off of like celebrities and movies and stuff like that because that was selling. And I'm like, people like that. But I think some of my best work is just like, you know, a lot of like pieces of just Black people existing, or a lot of just pieces of my friends. It's like not every piece has to have be like a loud message and like some overhyped thing. Sometimes it's just like people exist. I've now said just people just make art of people. So it's like I don't always do that, but like I love that now I have appreciation for some of my simpler works. Because at the time when I first started, I'm like, okay, what is this next big project gonna be? It's got to top the next one. It's got to top the next one. It's got to, and like sometimes not. Sometimes I just paint just like I'm like, I really love that picture of Naderson. I'm gonna paint it today. You know,
That was fire. Though.
Right.
It is so good. It is so good.
It's hung up right.
That's what it is. This is
That was fire.
It's so beautiful.
I had to learn that, like, yeah, not everything has to be loud and extravagant, and you don't always have to try to top yourself. Sometimes just create for the love of it, and like that's why like a lot of our pieces are based off people that I know. Because sometimes I just want to be in the studio and just create something calm and like reflection of my life, and it doesn't have to have like next thing. Okay, what's the overarching theme? This one, Black people exist. That's the theme. So yes, I have to learn not to like always try to top myself. It makes it bigger each time.
For me, I wouldn't necessarily say learn and unlearn from my work, because like say there's always something to learn. But I will say I would unlearn a lot of things in terms of the business side of it. It's very different than the work itself. I think like when I first started painting, I was just trying to quit my 9-to-5, so I priced my work differently. And then when I was homeless, I priced my work differently because I needed money today. And then after I got over that, it's not the same anymore. Because I'm not in a rush. I'm not creating for money anymore. I'm creating because this is what I want to see and this is what I'm experiencing, and this is what I want to say. But the business side is like, just that. You know what I mean? It's like it's ugly. And because artists, we just stuck in our head thinking, oh, we're just making art, we're making art, but they don't think of it as just making art or just art. And then there are organizations that will take advantage of the artist while the artist is, again, can be homeless, can be dealing with some financial situation while they are running away with your work. And that I did unlearn and learn and unlearn a lot of things in terms of how to press my work to a point where I'm comfortable with what it is. And also, because like if it's same with galleries as well. It's like if you are making the work and it seems they're promoting to make it feel like you need them. But trust me, they need
What's
you.
a gallery
You know
without the art?
Yo, it's like they need you more than you think. It's are you willingly giving away your power, or because they know somebody else will? And then so always take your time and move at your pace. No need to rush it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy wherever you're at, and then learn from it and grow.
That to me is one of the most revolutionary things about Art on the Ave, is that here you have an organization. I'm going to brag a little bit, and she's going to hate me for it, but I don't care.
Brag.
During COVID, you have this woman who's a school teacher and her daughter walking through the streets of New York City. And they're looking at all these vacant and closed storefronts and like, shoot, what an eyesore. And this art of this teacher, not an art teacher, but a teacher, not in the art world, but a teacher and her daughter decide to create an organization to transform these vacant eyesore spaces into street-facing art galleries and send out castings or callings or whatever for under or unrepresented artists to show their work. And then space to create your work and a space to sell your work. And they don't take a dime. As a matter of fact, somebody will get upset if you do give them a dime. They don't charge the artist. They're not, taking a 60% cut of your sale. They're giving the community, they're giving the artist, and we get to give to each other, and we get to give to the organization, and we also get to give to the community. So it's not a business exchange thing. It's not a, pop it out. It's not a gimmicky thing. It's a safe space to create.
Right.
And we seldom, if ever, really get that as creatives. A safe space to create. I don't have to worry about, how much is the studio charging? I don't have to worry if I don't have to, please buy this painting, because I have to give 50 to 60% to somebody else. So that's my bragging of Art on the Ave. I didn't want to call her name, Barbara, but I'm sorry.
Right there.
The one with the glasses and the scarf, that's her. She did that.
Thank you all for being here. That concludes the talk. If you guys want to ask I wanted it to be, I'm good with the timing in my brain. So we are in one of the artist creative space. So if you want to check out his work, you can definitely do that. It's around the corner. I can show you all the things. We have Naderson's book here to check out some work. Sage has some stuff over here for you guys to check out. All I ask is everyone follow Art on the Ave NYC and meet somebody new. But I feel like everybody kind of knows everybody here. So just talk to somebody that you didn't come with. Okay. Thank you.
Question.
Thank
Question.
you. No, you're amazing.
Oh,
Mingle.
Oh,
Mingle.
Mingle? Oh, I want the questions. What's the question?
Chris? Oh, what is this one?
No questions?
It's not, go first. Yeah, it's not really a question, more so of a thank you, gratitude. I'm a photographer, I'm an artist as well, and I'm very much at a point in my artist career where life is becoming real. I'm from Haiti. Though things are happening there, the immigration climate here is very hard. So at some point, I look at myself and I'm like, I need my work to do more. I need my work to be of service. But this conversation has shown me that all of us as artists, our work is of service. Our work is immediate. And so I just wanted to thank y'all for kind of zapping me back to like reality and showing me like, yes, this Naderson's stories, sage stories. And I was researching your work and it's just beautiful to see that in the face of so much chaos and hate, that beautiful work, beautiful energy can be translated in your work. So I'm just feeling grateful to be in this space and I wish you all the best. I've known Naderson for a while now. My little brother, my big brother, I'm so proud of you. This is so wonderful. So yeah, just wanted to say a big thank you. I really am feeling inspired.
Your work is so impactful. Oh my gosh. You guys connect with this guy. Honestly, truthfully, it's beautiful. Yes. Anybody else want to ask a question?
I have a question.
In the forestry. Green.
Similar to Stephen, what he was saying, a lot of stuff is going on in the world, social, political, environmental, economical. So I guess as artists, I'm curious to know a little bit about how do you process everything that's happening in the world while also creating joyful, deep human pieces. It's really difficult to navigate all of that, I think. And I'm very curious to know how you all kind of, I guess art is all about dichotomy. And like, I think that's a lot of what we're going through right now. So yeah, curious to know how you guys are like going through the motions of life and being an artist at the same time currently.
I'm gonna recall what Sage said when he was talking about like how our ancestors made blues out of trauma. You know, it's like for me, like a lot of stuff is going on crazy in the world, especially after this administration. But like for me personally, it's like things have always been going on, even in my childhood, whether personal, whether through all my other friends, they always had stuff going on. So it's like my art has never not been a safe haven, but it's been like I said before, my sense of control. So it's like I use art as like something to grasp onto. And it's kind of like also like I want to give someone else like a life raft, something that you can grasp onto as well. So even if something really small and gives you like just a moment of like peace. I said when you saw artwork for the first time made you really happy. Even if, like my artwork only gives you about like 3 seconds of that, that makes me so happy.
Right.
So I create very intentionally on like what will this not just do for me, but do for other people as well. As you said, I don't create for other people, but like I do create other people in mind a lot of times.
I was a homeless crackhead who picked out a garbage can to eat. I've slept in abandoned buildings. I've had rats crawling over my flesh. I've been a prostitute. Not a very good one. I was actually really... I was so bad. I was like, yeah. What? No. I'd be in there like, I'm your private dancer. That's so bad. I've also been flown to Dubai, and my work has been used in films. And I've produced and written my own work. I've created my own CD. I've done all of this with an understanding of, rooted in a foundation of connection. That if anything is to be written on my, actually, I won't have a tombstone. I'm going to be cremated. But say I had a tombstone and it was to describe my work, it's simply to say my work hopefully reflects the fact that we are intrinsically more connected than we are apart. And so all of this chaos is a symptom of the sickness. As artists, we get to create from a spiritual place that is outside of and within the realm of the insanity, whether it's our own insanity or cultural or racial or whatever. There are things that cannot be denied. That most women who are raped don't speak about their being raped. But the artist has to speak to that. So it is complex. There is always going to be that duality. There is always going to be that space of a creator to try to reconcile the ugly and the beauty. You know, a rainbow has a top part and a bottom part. We only focus on what's in between.
So many quotable moments today. I'll put it all on a shirt.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? There's also chocolate cake.
It's the pause for me, you know, let that marinate, and then he follows up with something even deeper.
I'm gonna try that.
I'm older than you guys, so
Yeah. No, that's not
because I'm trying, and I smoke, so I'm trying to catch my breath.
Yeah. Questions.
So
Answers.
it's I can only speak for myself personally. Again, in my work, there's a lot of eyes. The eyes is a matter of perspectives. Wherever you are, whatever your first interaction is with a person of color or with a white person, and then that destroyed it for you, and then you keep that in your mind thinking everybody is this way, that's your personal thing. And then so that, one of the reasons why I create a lot of multiple eyes in my work is because I move into this world not just as Naderson St. Pierre, a human being. I move as Naderson St. Pierre. I move as a Haitian kid. I move as a Black dude in America. So I have to carry everybody's expectations, based on whatever interaction they had with somebody that looks like me. But here I am entering the space unaware that those things already existed before me. And then treat me as such without even knowing Naderson St. Pierre. And then so I have this rage when it comes to social injustice, when it comes to, we watched Bad Bunny yesterday, and then to see all those flags from it was so beautiful. But yet there are other people that just hit it. It's something just as simple as this, as beautiful as this can be. There is another human being on this planet just hit the fact that all these people connected as one. Mm-hmm. So regardless of whatever things we're trying to do is add a little spark of love or reality, make people be aware of themselves. Put the painting in front of them, be like, hey, look, this is you. Now, it's not me forcing it to them, but it's like I have ideas and you have to see it in order for change to happen. And I don't think it's just going to take art itself to make it happen. You know what I mean? It's not going to take that. Because shit, they have been painting way before me. You know what I mean? Way before me that talked about those things. But yet, here we are today, same shit, same conversation. And it's like, okay, what else? Is there something new? Those ideas that we're creating are not new. You know what I mean? Those conversations are not new. And then so it's because they didn't get it yet. The world doesn't get it yet. So we have forced it's like when an idea comes, it's like if it comes and then sometimes it comes and then I'm like, oh, I'm too tired somebody else gonna paint it. If the same idea keep coming over and over and you see it all the time over and over, it's because people are not getting the message. You know what I mean? And artists have to create it different ways that fits in this broken puzzle where we're like, okay, this might make sense. This look good, but we're still having the same conversation. No, and yeah.
We are the grunts. We are the front line artists. Again, I would not wish this on any 5-year-old.
No.
Because we are always, whenever they come in to conquer, the first they attack are us, the artists. And it is in part our responsibility to speak to things, to speak on things. Another quotable moment is art whispers to the eyes, but it screams to the soul. And we're always on the front line to make that transformation, whether it be realized to them or not. And what's awesome about the work is it might not be realized consciously, but when somebody walked past the Oculus and saw your work, they were affected. When somebody walked past 98 East 4th Street and saw something, they might not have seen it, but they might have felt it. And that's where we fit in. That little space, that tiny space, that grain of sand is where artists live. Yes.
So last night, Benito handed a Grammy to a little kid, and that little kid represented him when he was younger. 10 years ago, he was like, he did grocery shopping. He was a bagger. He was a bag boy. So when you were like,
He's a bad boy, like the grocery store.
Yeah.
Bag boy.
sorry, I love Benito. Anyway, so that little boy grew up to be what he wanted to be. When you were 5 or 10 or like 10 years ago, did you imagine you would be an artist?
I didn't know what art was. I just know I'm just surrounded by it. I grew up in Haiti, and there's arts everywhere. It just never is something that our parents be like, oh, there's a career for this. Oh, there is a world for this. I wasn't aware of that. All I know is it's just a space when I'm depressed. I just go there and make art just to express, and then come back to the real world, and then try to find a job, trying to do this. And it happened for a lot of people where as a kid, they started, everybody here used to draw as a kid. And for some reason, the world convinces you that it's not a real thing. And then so you're forced to leave that behind and then go get a corporate job, go do this and do that. And we are the ones that unfortunately have to continue doing it regardless. I tell Chana all the time, I hate working with a passion. I don't like working at all. My last job, I found multiple ways to quit. Because when I'm working and then I have ideas, now somebody else is in charge of when I get to express that. And I hated it. And I'm like, I don't care if I'm go back to being homeless again. I'll do the same thing I did because I know better now. I did not think of me being an artist when I was a young kid.
For me, actually, I don't ever remember when I made the conscious decision to become an artist. I just always remember having a pencil in my hand drawing. But as a kid, I actually did want to be an artist. Kept it to myself though, because I have Caribbean parents. Yeah. But no, I did want to be an artist when I was a kid. And then when I became a teenager and I was applying to college and stuff like that, things got real. And then I chose that, okay, I'll just go into teaching. I became a teacher for a few years. And that dream died. And then it was not till my mid-20s where the flame kind of came back again, where I'm like, okay, no, I really want to do art. Because I started seeing a lot of people my age doing it. And other people following their passions. Then I was teaching one day and I was in my classroom and I was severely unhappy. So I'm like, if I'm going to be unhappy doing this thing that I don't want to do, and being an artist is painful, I'm going to be unhappy then anyways, at least with art, I feel like I'm doing something meaningful. Personally for me, I like teaching, but like I need something more than that. So I'd say that for me, like, it was, yes, kid me, want to be an artist. As you said, society slapped me beside the head. It's like, get that dream out your head. And then like, I could only be away for so long before it came back. Like, I feel like even if I was 40, that flame would have not reignited. I was 60, like at some point in my life, it was bound to reignite because it's like, as Paige said, it's just something that you have to want so bad. Like, I want art so bad, even when art is not convenient, even when it frustrates me, even when I don't even want to want it. Why do I want it? I don't know, but like I wanted it so bad. So I felt like if you're an artist and you're meant to be an artist, you're meant to be an artist.
When I was 10, all I wanted to do was marry Donna Summer. That was my biggest dream. To marry Donna Summer and not to hear the fighting in the living room. To marry Donna Summer and not to get hit. To marry Donna Summer and not to see my stepfather beat on my mom. And that's when I found a number 2 pencil and pad of paper. And it wasn't, because it wasn't an art thing. It was salvational. It was escapism. You know, and growing up, in high school, I became the antithesis, I thought, of my parents who dealt with stuff. You know, I was prom king and I was top 10 percentile of my class, and you know, I was junior class president, editor of the yearbook. I was prom king. And in my early 20s, I was introduced to substances that took me down quickly. In 93, I moved to DC to go to rehab. It was a year program. I stayed for 6 months and moved to DC and relapsed. And I would sit at the bars. It's so sad. I would go to the bathrooms because people would put their drinks in a thing. And if there was a cigarette in it, you just take it out and just take their drinks. Or sit there and wait for somebody to buy you a drink. But I would just doodle for hours. And I met this student named Walter who taught at Howard University. And he took me to an art supply store and bought me $100 worth of supplies. And although I love the number 2 pencil because if you make a mistake, you just turn it over, erase it, and start over. He bought me paints and I was terrified. I said, what the fuck am I going to do with this? If I make a mistake, it's messed up. And started painting in DC. But I was homeless and on the streets, and if somebody wanted something, I would either, sell it to them to buy crack or a sandwich, whatever came first. In 97, I moved to LA, relapsed, rinse, repeat. I got sober. I was sober for 11 years. My life had transformed. By that time now, I'm driving my second Mercedes, living in a gated community. But I wasn't painting, I wasn't creating. And I had a gnarly relapse that almost killed me. And in 2014, it was a paradoxical time for me. Because in 2014, I'm checking myself into a sober living rehab. And simultaneously, I'm being named as one of the 40 Black artists to watch based on my photo series I shot called Cracks, which was kind of a documentation of my addiction. And I am in this rehab and I have tons of time. I have nothing to do. My job that was about to fire me can't fire me because apparently addiction is a mental health thing. I was like, yay, mental health. And, so I'm painting and I'm posting things on Facebook for shits and giggles, not thinking anything of it. And I posted this painting, a little watercolor, and a friend of mine whom I'd gone to high school with hit me up on Facebook. He says, hey, Joe, I love this piece. Could I buy it? Like, why would you buy it? That's just crazy. Here, what's your address? I'll send it to you. No, Sage, I want to buy it. His name is Tim Benton, an amazing photographer. I need to connect you to Tim. He said, how much? So I'm thinking I'm being a wise ass. So I'm pulling this crazy number out of my ass thinking he'll be so offended that he'll say, just send it to me. I said, $250. He said, I'll take it. I said, oh, shit. And he sent me a check for $250 and it cleared. So I sent him his painting. And then I had 2 solo shows simultaneously in LA. and then produced my first New York opening. And then this happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. And, you know, that business part of it, which is the most challenging part for an artist, because you are also a self-owned business as well. And learning how to price your work.
Right.
You know, when I started, okay, I would post my work on social media. And at that time, all I knew how to do was Facebook, and I had to learn how to do Instagram. I didn't know how to do that. So I would post a picture of a painting on Instagram, or actually more focused on Facebook. And if 12 people liked it, I would just put a 0 at the end. So now that piece is $120.
Oh, smart.
That's how I learned how to price my work. But I didn't know, like you said, I didn't know this was a thing, really. You know, you hear Basquiat and Keith Haring and Warhol and Van Gogh, but you don't think of yourself in that realm of people making money from this at all until you start navigating through that part of it, because the paint's expensive, the canvases are expensive, the cameras, the paper, the ink cartridges, the rent, all of those things are expensive. So, like Naderson said, I'm not a corporate guy. What am I going to do? I'm going to learn how to utilize what's been given to me. And luckily, when people are affected by your work and they want to collect it, that's another thing I wanted to, sorry. We need to start treating people of color, artists, seriously. You know, we can't be shortchanging artists of color, female artists, marginalized trans people, you know, where somebody could duct tape a fucking banana to a wall and it's, oh my God, how brilliant is that? It's not. It's a fucking banana duct taped to a fucking wall that's sold for $180,000. Where either one of these people's work exceeds that exponentially. So we got to take ourselves and each other seriously.
Speaking on that, what about investing? I think people overlook like the importance of investing in art. And as someone who has a little collection themselves, I want you guys to tell the importance, not like you're selling yourself, but why it's important to invest in artists. I know you think it's important. You have to, right?
Well, imagine, I'm just gonna play this imaginary game with you guys. Imagine if we woke up tomorrow and all the art outside of ourselves didn't exist. No cars, no, everything just erased. Because what are you left with? And investing in art, it means, if you don't, okay, so what I've learned, very straightforward, forget. What I've learned is that people don't buy work because it's just the aesthetic. They don't buy work because it's large or it's small enough. Collectors who actually understand art buy because of the story to it or drug money. It's fine.
It's a tax write-off.
It's fine. But real collector buy work that means something. And they get to pass it down from generation to generations. Being homeless, things that I've learned is that people wasn't really buying my work because it was beautiful. They buy my work because they believe in me. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a difference. Just different. They have their whys. Because they believe in me, they invested in me. They were like, I don't like. There's this one time, my friend and I, we went to till today it's pissed me off. We were doing a fundraiser, and then so I donated a portrait of Nina Simone. Even though I was doing it, I donated a portrait of Nina Simone. I donated a portrait of Nina Simone. She loved the work. She was like, cool, the guy's gonna love the work. So we put the work in the fundraising. And then everybody, you can wear whatever you want, just wear shoes because the money is gonna be buying shoes for kids in Africa. I'm like, great. I love the cause. I'm all in. Donate the painting. And during the show, this guy, he buy the painting, right? Give the money, great. And now it's time for him to take the painting. He said he don't want the painting. He just wanted to. I'm like, okay. As the artist, I'm like, okay, what's wrong with the painting? My painting. But no, he just wanted to support. And I was like, I told him, no, like, yo, I'm not taking the painting home. And because to invest in artists is to keep track of where the artist is in a time. Collecting a piece of the artist in the time the artist is in. Let's say for right now, if you collect a piece of Barrington, it's dated 2026 today, and then in 20 years from now, Barrington is not going to be in the same stage anymore. Mm-hmm. And then so therefore you were able to collect a part of him during that time. It's like keeping track of time in a way by itself. So that's what I will encourage people to invest in art, because it's not just to make your house beautiful, is to recognize that this is a living being who choose. He could just wake up one day. We could all wake up one day and say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna still make art, but I'm not gonna put it out there." Mm-hmm. And for us to have the courage to do so, to put our work outside, and for somebody to see it and love it and purchase it, it encouraged the artist to make more work. Mm-hmm. So that way the artist doesn't have to worry about the money side, because, somebody purchased more for $2,000, I could buy supplies and I'm going to make more paintings and the world get to see more of me. And that's my reason.
I agree. I'm keep it short, very short. No, I agree. I think that one of my favorite quotes, somebody said that art is the way we decorate time. And I believe that. I believe that, especially like in this administration where they're getting rid of a lot of DEI, trying to erase a lot of history, closing down a lot of like courses and stuff, talking about like Black history, people of color history. When you collect art and when you buy art from whether artists of color or marginalized artists or even just artists who are just talking about specific things, right? You are keeping part of that documentation alive. Right. Because they can try to take it out of schools, but like once you own this art, once you own this painting, the proof is on the wall. That's my property. You can't tell me to get rid of that in my house. So I think it's important to own art, just because like they're trying to do everything to like kind of like whitewash history. And it'd be a lot harder to do when we each have pieces of that history in our homes.
Vincent van Gogh sold one painting of his in his lifetime.
Damn. Oh, sorry.
Vincent van Gogh sold one of his paintings, one painting of his in his lifetime. His brother Theo was the person who purchased it. Oh, wow. He's like, God damn it, Vincent, I'm tired of you coming over here asking for me for money. Here's $10. Give me the blue one, just the blue one, the lights and starry things. Vincent van Gogh sold one painting in his lifetime. Deborah Harry from Blondie. But Jean-Michel Basquiat's first big painting for $250.
Oh,
wow. Jean-Michel got to experience his success, if you will, while living. Vincent didn't. And there's a paradox in that, as an artist, as a living artist, that we have to contend with, because you like this style of work, but I've grown. I do this style now. But we need collectors. We need people to support us. financially because we do have rent to pay. I love to eat every day. There was a time in my life I didn't get to do that. I have an apartment with a bed in it and I get to sleep in. There was a time in my life I didn't get to do that. I could shower every day. Twice if I feel good. There was a time I didn't get to do that. So the financial aspect is important. And yes, collectors should collect because the work touches them. But see, what that does is you just purchased this work, right, for $500, which gives me an opportunity to go to the art supply store because they're having a 2-for-1 sale on canvases.
Yeah.
So now I'm creating more work.
Buy two, get one.
And now this person's doing a podcast and this person's doing a documentary. Now this person just bought this piece. So that $500, like the $250 that Tim bought that painting, 2024, I'm flown to Dubai and I'm doing a charity thing for this organization. And we auctioned off this painting I did live. And I gave them 100% of this because they put me up in Dubai, baby. It was cute. So I gave them 100%, not knowing that painting was going to auction for $16,000. So, it's a progression. That $500 investment that you made, like the Deborah Harry's $250 on Basquiat, now it's worth tens of millions of dollars. Not to say that all of us are going to be selling in our death at tens of millions of dollars, but what you're giving us is an opportunity to create the opportunity. I'm very clear. Shit, I want everybody who's bought a piece of my work to be able to buy a house and retire off of my shit when I'm dead. And we bust our asses. We work hard. I look at Gustavo's work. I look at Kate's work. Not just the investment aspect of it, because conversely, there have been people I just said, no, I'm not selling you my work. Yeah. You can put your checkbook away, but under no circumstance will my spirit be anywhere in your walls, your basement, rolled up, your tax rebate. No.
Yeah.
Because it's not about. And I learned that because I sold one of my favorite paintings. I was broke as shit. And I sold it for $700. I'm still mad at that. I might have to buy that one for the back because I love that piece. But, we need help. We need support as artists. This is not easy. Carrying canvases on trains and running through the streets and wondering like, oh God, do I have any burnt umber? I need burnt umber.
Amber is the key.
Everything is a cure-all. So, it works because when you support us, we get to work harder to increase the value of the piece that you purchased. It's simple math to me.
In addition, a lot of times when collectors buy work, they just think, oh, I'm just going to buy it and that's that. And then for them, it's investment. It's smart. The best way to think of it as an investment is like if you buy it, you also owe the artist you also have to put the artist in a position to win. Because if it's an investment, you have to get something back in return. And you can't just buy the painting and then left the artist in the water and be like, hopefully he made it out. You on your own at this point. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
There are people that buy work from me, and because they buy work from me, they reach out to their friends. Their friends buy work from me, reach out to their friends, buy work from me, and then that put me in the position that I am now. It's like, it's not just buy the work and then the artist is still homeless.
Yeah.
There has to be more to it.
All right. Any other questions?
Listen. Is that it? Everybody?
No,
Yeah,
I
good?
have but it's not a question, it's a comment.
Uh-oh.
Comment?
So today, so I've been doing this for 5 years, as Sage pointed out, in China. I didn't come from this world, so it's all new. So anytime I hear you speak, it informs my next conversation. And it's very important because today, for example, I am in a place where for the last, I would say 2.5 years, my mind has been so focused on how do I keep it alive? Because, you know, I see that it is helpful to people, but how do I keep it alive? Because I work 24/7. I do have a passion for work, as these guys know. You know, that's my art. But it has to be sustainable. I have to get proper funding for the organization. I have to get someone that can help run the organization. And so I've been so focused on that part of the story. How do I make this appealing to a foundation? How do I then turn the conversation around and make it appealing to a property owner? And how do I make it appealing to someone who's just, you know, possibly going to collect art from these artists? And the conversation is so much in my head all the time about how do I fund it and how do I keep it alive, that sometimes I forget this part of the conversation. And today I had to, in 10 minutes, describe what does Art on the Ave do? What is it? How does it work? And then give us the budget and then this and then that. And at the end, I finished and they said, oh, you know, okay, now we understand. And one person said, but why? Why are you doing it? Because I'm not an artist. I'm not from the art world. I'm not from New York City. I've had a full career that I loved. I have a big family all over the place that I need to see. So why? And this is the why. You know, what you guys have just been talking about and expressing and, you know, sharing with us, that is the why. And I just realized tonight that for the longest time, you know, I go and I speak to everyone and I see everybody and I encourage everybody, but I forget the why. And so thank you, China, because this is the why.
In terms of that why, we are having our launch party opening night on February 12th at 120 Park Avenue in the Bloomberg building between 5 p.m. and 9-ish p.m. 8. She's saying
If you're
8.
following Art on the Ave NYC, like I asked, you'll see it
Yeah,
there.
definitely follow. It's going to be a great night, guys, and we're so excited. I get to share the space with Milagros, Nelly, Gustavo, and it's going to be a great night. So if you guys are available, February 12th, 5 to 8 at 120 Park Avenue, directly across the street from Grand Central Station.
Beautiful.
And there's going to be more cake.
Lobster mac and cheese this time?
Maybe. Maybe. Just maybe.
Thank you all so much for being here. I truly appreciate you all making time for us this evening.
Thank you, Ruby. That was absolutely incredible panel. Really amazing. Crazy, right?